Well, welcome to episode 12 of the Redline Rebuild 289 Tiger project. If you watched 11, you'll know that I got this car running and immediately there were a few issues. So while I'm getting this thing back down on the ground for hopefully the last time in a while, I'll tell you what I found. First off, as you noticed, it was smoking pretty good and there was some good exhaust, some leaks, not only from the exhaust system that was barely connected, but also from the valve covers. And I haven't exactly solved the valve cover issue just yet, but it paled in comparison to the fact that when I started it and tried to get it in gear, it would not go. And it was really grindy. And what I'd been concerned about was that this new clutch either wasn't installed exactly right, like I hadn't whacked the bushing into that flywheel all the way in. You know, there were a million things going through my head that what did I do wrong? That I was going to have to unwind a long way. But I had some really good news. There's two parts to a hydraulic clutch, okay, if you've never messed with one before. There's a master cylinder at the top that when you actually push the pedal, it drives a piston, and in this case, it drives fluid down to a secondary cylinder that actually has the arm that pushes the clutch. Well, I took a broom handle and put the clutch in all the way, and what I found was that the secondary cylinder really was only coming out about a 1/4 inch. So I'm like, that's not enough. That's my problem. As I went inside the car though, I found that there was a big adjustment nut on the back of the fork, on the back of the clutch pedal that had become loose, and that was my problem. So let's see here. We are free. So what else do I have to do underneath here? Well, there was a plate that was on the basically an inspection cover on the bell housing, and I think what we noticed, it came down a little faster than I wanted it to, but I'm talking and not paying as much attention, but all that was good. So anyway, I had to make one of those, and that was a really fun process, and I don't think that puts me into exactly the category of ultimate fabricators, but my buddy Scott had some scrap metal. I always go to his place if I need some extra metal, and then he cut a big chunk for me, and then I fine-tuned it, made some templates, and anyway, I've got a cover on that now that I didn't have to buy. Just a piece of metal. How about that? So I drove this thing around a good bit with the shady clutch, trying to see before if maybe if it was just stuck, there was something in that wasn't moving, and I read a few things online that said, sometimes you just drive the things, they'll work themselves out. Well, they never did. So I took a bunch of driving footage just around my neighborhood, and it was really pretty frustrating because I knew it wasn't operating right, and I was trying all these different ways to film. Actually, I put a camera on a tripod and I put it inside the car. I took my iPhone and I stuck it to a mount on the windshield. First bump I hit, it falls down sideways. This time, I actually have an old GoPro that's got one of those, it's got a head strap on it. So I'm gonna try that today. We're gonna go drive this car with the working clutch, and we're also gonna check out the temperature that this thing runs. So it got up to about, ran about 190, maybe 200, which people tell me that's no problem for a Tiger with this kind of motor in it. And I just want to get it out and really run it. It's also a really fresh motor, so it's going to run a little hotter. And I don't have a timing light here, so it may be actually running a little advanced, and it starts up, boom, like you saw in the last video. It's still doing that, but I'm going to pull the timing back just slightly and see if that helps it run a little bit cooler, and then I'll go get a timing light. So anyway, there's a lot to do. Super excited about this, but the car runs great, and I couldn't be more excited to be where I am right now today. And thanks for watching. Okay, let's go drive. Wow, it sure starts up easy. Man, I'm telling you, this thing, wow, that feels better. You'll notice I fried the speedometer cable, the brand new one I put in the last episode. I hung it too close to the exhaust manifold and it melted it, and it's not working. So I pulled it apart and it's not spinning. So somewhere in the cable it actually fused itself badly and it doesn't work anymore, or it actually separated. I really don't know. So, and the tack's dead. The tack it's never really worked very well anyway, so it's time to figure that out. So I'm kind of flying blind here, but I can certainly shift it by ear a little bit and know whether it's pinging or not running good. Now it'll warm up pretty quick to about 190, which I'm told is not to worry about. I've got my vacuum gauge hooked up to the wrong port, so I'm not expecting that's going to run perfectly. It's 60 pounds of pressure or so. It's doing good, charging good, got fuel. Oh yeah. And the exhaust is a little more put together. It's not perfect. It could get banged in about another 1/4 inch on the driver's side, but you know, it's holding steady. Throttle response is nice with this carburetor. Now the other thing that I did in the first videos is, as I would circle the wheel around, there was this metallic dragging noise and a dink, dink, dink. Well, that was it was the combination, it was the horn contact ring kind of spinning against the turn signal stuff. So anyway, I've got that epoxy back into place. Well, I put blue stuff. Now this is a pretty fresh motor too, so I should break it in nice. It's only got dyno time on it, so not much since it was built. Good little test drive though. Shifts really nice now, just like it used to. And I haven't really gotten on it at all. I mean, I've used about a first 1/4 of the throttle. And it feels nice. Like this motor feels very lively, as it should for having, oh, I don't know, 100 more than the motor that came out of it. So it ought to go pretty nice. That's nice. Yeah. Little tiny bit doggy on the bottom end there, and once you get it, let it breathe a little bit, boy, does that feel good. Woo! Oh my. I am gonna enjoy this motor in this car very, very much. All right, okay. Yeah, and the stock redline was 4,800, and it really wasn't making power up there. This is 6,500, and it's still making power there. So this is going to be very lively out on a big open road. Temperature still sitting about 180, something like that. Man, this thing wants to go. Pretty good, you know, and I tightened up those valve covers. It's not smoking like it was. So maybe it finally burned off the oil that had leaked down on that. Let's just pull it in. Good test drive. Well, here we are. We've come to the end of this episode. I've got some people to thank for helping me get as far as I did on this project. The first one, of course, is David, our Redline rebuilder. David, you built a heck of an engine, man. This is really fun to have this running and thriving in a car again, especially the little Tiger, because it really responds well to it. I'm going to keep fine-tuning it. Gonna honor you with it, and a little later on we're going to be doing that EFI conversion. We have all the parts we need here.
We just need the weather to break a little bit, and working in the garage in 120 degrees of heat and humidity, honestly, I don't think it's great for the audience, and I may die. So we're going to put pause on that particular part of the project. And so we're going to do a little more of that. Who else do I need to thank for this? Well, the folks at Griffin Radiators. Thank you so much, because that all aluminum radiator that's in the car now seems to be working awesome. Can't wait to continue to test it when we're on the road. And the folks at Evans Cooling. Now, their waterless coolant is also in the car. So far, with the testing we're doing, it hasn't dribbled a drop out of it, which is fantastic. And Tigers, when they get hot, are known for puking up a little coolant here and there. Haven't seen anything come out of it. So I'm really excited about continuing to test that product. The rest of this has just been a lot of fun to do. We're going to get back on the road with this car. And thank you all for watching so far. We'll be back later on with more fun Tiger stuff. All right, take care. See ya.